I was today's years old when I found out the potential cost of the Russian-Ukraine war. Imagine waking up to the sound of explosions, your city engulfed in chaos. This has been the grim reality for millions in Ukraine since February 24, 2022, when Russia launched a full-scale invasion, marking the most significant military conflict in Europe since World War II. But wait, there's something even more shocking about this that you need to hear. The roots of this war are deeply embedded in a complex tapestry of historical grievances, geopolitical ambitions, and cultural tensions by Russia's President Vladimir Putin, whom has long harbored imperialist aspirations, challenging Ukraine's sovereignty and legitimacy as a state. And just when you thought it couldn't get any crazier, it does. He has baselessly accused the Ukrainian government of being neo-Nazis committing genocide against Russian-speaking populations in the Donbas region, using these unfounded claims to justify military aggression under the guise of demilitarization and denazification. And here's where things take a surprising turn. Keep watching. As of March 2025, hundreds of thousands of military personnel from both sides have been killed or wounded, with civilian casualties in the Ukraine numbering in the tens of thousands, with countless others bearing the physical and psychological scars of war, with the invasion triggering Europe's largest refugee crisis since World War II, with approximately 8 million Ukrainians fleeing the country and another 8 million internally displaced, out of a pre-war population of 41 million. This changes everything. Stay with me to find out why. The economic ramifications extend far beyond Ukraine's borders, with the war disrupting global supply chains, particularly in agriculture and energy sectors, leading to increased prices and inflation worldwide, and the European countries heavily relying on Russian energy exports while facing energy crisis, prompting a re-evaluation of energy policies and a push towards alternative sources. With this conflict has straining international relations, leading to a realignment of alliances and a renewed focus on defense spending among NATO countries. Now here's the part the media isn't telling you. Let's break it down. The financial burden of the war is immense, with Ukraine's infrastructure suffering catastrophic damage, with estimates running into hundreds of billions of dollars, with major cities like Mariupol, Kharkiv, and Severodonetsk being reduced to rubble, their once thriving communities now ghost towns, and the cost of rebuilding these urban centers is staggering, with some estimates suggesting that it could take decades and require international assistance on an unprecedented scale. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. The real issue is even bigger. The arsenal deployed in this conflict includes a wide array of modern and conventional weaponry. Russia has utilized advanced missile systems, such as the Kh-101 cruise missiles and hypersonic Kinzhal missiles, causing widespread destruction across Ukrainian cities, while Ukraine, on the other hand, has employed innovative tactics, leveraging drone technology for reconnaissance and targeted strikes. The Ukrainian forces have effectively used domestically produced drones, such as the Vampire drone, to supply frontline positions and conduct attacks on Russian assets, and the proliferation of unmanned aerial vehicles has transformed modern warfare, introducing new dynamics on the battlefield. So what happens next? Well, it's not what you'd expect. International involvement has been pivotal. The United States, under previous administrations, provided substantial military aid to Ukraine, including advanced weaponry and intelligence support. However, in a significant policy shift, the Trump administration halted these critical arms deliveries and intelligence sharing in early 2025, aiming to pressure Ukraine into negotiations with Russia. This cessation has had profound implications on Ukraine's defensive capabilities, leading to increased vulnerabilities on the front lines. Now here's the $1 million question. What does this mean for the future? European nations have stepped in to fill the void, supplying military aid and financial support, but the gap left by the United States remains substantial. And here's where things get really interesting. Don't miss this part. The cessation of U.S. intelligence sharing has been particularly detrimental. Ukrainian forces have found it increasingly challenging to conduct precise long-range strikes without real-time intelligence, leading to strategic setbacks. This intelligence vacuum has emboldened Russian forces, allowing them to regroup and launch more coordinated offensives. The morale of Ukrainian troops, while resilient, has been tested under these strained conditions. This next piece of information changes everything. Stay with me. The war's impact on global economies cannot be overstated. Energy prices have soared due to sanctions on Russian oil and gas, leading to inflation and economic slowdowns in various countries. The disruption of Ukrainian grain exports has exacerbated food shortages in regions reliant on these supplies, particularly in parts of Africa and the Middle East. The conflict has also led to increased defense spending among NATO allies, diverting funds from social programs and infrastructure projects. We're about to uncover something even more shocking. Let's dive in. Predicting the end of this protracted conflict remains challenging. Diplomatic efforts have been sporadic and largely unsuccessful. The recent suspension of U.S. military aid was intended to bring Ukraine to the negotiating table, but it has also risked emboldening Russia to press its advantage, and the European leaders continue to advocate for a peaceful resolution, but the path to peace is fraught with complexities, including territorial disputes, security guarantees, and the rebuilding of war-torn regions. And if you're wondering how this affects you, you need to see this. The Russian-Ukraine conflict has reshaped the geopolitical landscape, with far-reaching consequences for global security, economics, and humanitarian efforts. The resilience of the Ukrainian people in the face of aggression has been remarkable, but the toll has been immense. But here's the twist that no one saw coming. Stick around! The international community stands at a crossroads, with decisions made in the coming months likely to influence the course of the 21st century. The pursuit of a just and lasting peace remains the ultimate goal, but achieving it will require unprecedented diplomatic efforts, strategic foresight, and a commitment to upholding international law and human rights. Let me know your thoughts on the war with a comment below, like, share and subscribe. See you in the next video.